Welcome to Between State Lines.
Hey guys, before we get started in today's episode, just want to add a little precursor here. We always strive to pronounce the names of Indigenous people and communities correctly. However, we are human and obviously we'll make mistakes here and there. The one you will notice in here for sure is I pronounced Nevea kingbird. I pronounced it incorrectly as Neva. It is pronounced Nevea, and I do apologize to her and her family. Um, so keep that in mind as the episode goes along. I also made a mistake, and the number featured in the a lot of these cases to drop in tips. So the 1-833-560-2065 is actually the Bureau of Indian Affairs, not the FBI. I caught that midway through the episode. I was saying the wrong thing, but that number is for the Bureau of Indian Affairs and not the FBI. So you can also contact the FBI for a lot of these cases, but that specific number is for the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Welcome back to Between State Lines, episode 44, and we were just talking about how our reality apparently sucks and it's awful. I did hear that you know how you and I have discussed the whole Harambe killing kind of split us off into a different bad timeline.
Yeah.
Well, I heard that it dates back to the invention of the biscuit. I think the biscuit was invented like the 1800s, and then the Triscuit came out in like 19. Did you send me that video or someone else?
I don't know. I feel like I should have if I didn't, because I definitely saw it.
Like the Triscuit, and there's no quadriscuit, so we veered off the course, so we fucked ourselves and gotten I don't
But
know.
that was in 2016, right? Like it was due in 2016.
Yeah, because it was like I think it was 1802, and then no 1816, 1916, and then yeah 2016. So we missed.
We messed up, man.
We fucked up. Let me ask you a question.
What do you think that would look like?
The quadriscuit?
Yeah.
Well, what the fuck does the Triscuit look like? I've eaten Triscuits, but like I've never actually looked at a Triscuit like up close and personal to
Isn't it
know
like
like
kind of it reminds me of a giant like what's that breakfast cereal that old people eat? Not Raisin Bran.
oh checks. Don't hate on
No,
checks.
it's not
Don't do
Chex.
that. Okay,
It's
what is it?
it's the This is
Is
gonna
it
drive me crazy. I don't want to Google
wait,
it.
should I Google old person cereal? I'll do that. Old
Yeah,
person cereal.
I bet it come up.
Let's see. There's All Brand. That's not it. There
I don't think I.
is Weetabix. Weetabix
What the
is
heck is
delicious.
that?
Grape nuts. They're grape.
What's the
um,
shredded wheat? Is that it? Is that what I'm thinking of?
that's probably it. Shredded wheat.
Yeah, like the frosted mini wheats. Yeah, it's shredded wheat. I'm thinking of that. I think Triscuit is kind of
Oh,
like that.
yeah, that's the lamer version of mini wheats. Okay,
Yeah.
so a Triscuit then is just like a fat ass cracker, a thick ass
Okay.
cracker.
So the quadriscuit, that would be like a square of the same kind of thing, but not as intricate. It's more like what's that? Like the football style puffy chip. But
The football. You're really throwing me for a loop here. The football.
I'm sorry. I'm not like really versed in these snacks because I don't buy any of this stuff, but
Oh, you're because is it because you think you're the queen?
I
We're the
am the
sorry
queen and
people.
they are the sorry people. No, it's mostly my kids just eat certain things and poppables. I want to say like poppables, but
Oh
a
God,
square.
I haven't had a popping bowl in like. Are they still around?
Yeah, I only recently
Oh my
discovered
God,
them.
I
How long have they
swear.
been around?
No, you know what I'm thinking of. It's not. That's not what I'm thinking of. The popsicles I'm thinking of is like back in the day. They used to have, and by the day, like 15 years ago, like Doritos would have these like air chips. It was like
Oh, no. Are you thinking of bugles?
no, Bugles are awesome, but like they used to have Doritos made these like it was kind of like popping balls, but I think they were more circular instead of like football shaped. Where they'd be in like a tin like Pringles and yeah, and I think they stopped making
Are
it
they like
because
Doritos puffed?
maybe that's what. Oh, that's what it is. Doritos Puff. Are they still around? Doritos Puff.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's what
know.
it is. Okay.
I don't know
Yeah.
because I'm finding stuff on eBay. Puffy Dorito chip, very rare.
The 3D. They're very rare. They're the 3D Doritos.
I want to know how much do they want for this on. Oh my god, they want way too much.
Well, spend the money. It's really good.
They want $69.69.
Yeah, I don't think they
Very
make.
rare.
Well, they do make 3D Doritos. They're. I guess you got to buy them overseas now. Okay, well that answers
Yeah,
my.
but I feel like it would be like some kind of square and it would resemble the Minecraft blocks and that would be the quadristicate.
I can get
Yeah.
behind that. I can get
Hmm.
behind that. I think that's reasonable. I think that's but I don't. I think it's too late now, though. I think it's too like we've
Okay,
gone
but if
past
anybody
that.
wants to come up with the flavor profiles for the quadriscuits, I'm on board. Let me know. Let's get this together. No? You're not on board? I don't care if I'm too late. We're already at the bad place. Let's just embrace this and let's bring in the quadriscuit.
It just the bad place. Whenever I think of the bad place, I just think of in the good place when they had like they were in the bad place and they what music would they? Was it George Michael music what they were playing? And they was like play the music, and I think Janet put on George Michael. It was like it might have been something else. I don't remember, but it was some like ridiculously good song that apparently is okay. Maybe not like good, but like
I can't
average song.
remember. I can only remember the fountains of like clam chowder or something like that. Because why?
Okay.
That does feel like the bad place.
I'll have to find the clip later on and play it. Oh, here we go. I found it. All right, let me share my screen again. After last week's. No, fuck off. Can't be sidetracked by cheap sex potions. Let's see.
Really? You know what? That was the cap for the whole week.
There is no problem we can't create. And believe me, we are going to create some problems. So let's kick things off with our official Bad Place song. 1877 cars for kids. KARS cars for kids.
Ooh, are we singing?
Shut up, Glenn.
That wasn't it, but that was also a good one. That wasn't that one. I'll find that one later and send it to you on TikTok or
I
whatever.
thought
but
that was a great one.
that was a great one. Let me ask you a question related to food. Would you eat? You like pickles, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you eat pickles on a pizza?
No.
Good. Okay. Thank you.
I learned my lesson.
You had. Wait. I'm sorry. You've had it before.
No, not pickles on pizza, but I fell for that internet thing where they were like, "Oh yeah, cook chocolate chip cookies with a pickle
Oh
in it,
yeah.
and it's just like deep fried pickles." And then it was fucking awful. And I still talk about it all the time. Like I'm pretty sure this came up a week ago.
That's disgusting. I can't believe. I still can't believe you actually did that.
I
That's
know.
so
My uncle said
gross.
he was disappointed in me. He literally looked back at me right before he's going to bed, and normally he'd say, "Good night, honey," and he said, "I'm disappointed in you, honey," and walked away.
I felt that in my bones. I felt how disappointed he was through the internet.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
unfortunate that I can't take anything from him without laughing. And so I was cracking up hysterically when he said this because it made my day how disappointed he was. Because I didn't tell him. I told my aunt. We knew what was coming. He had no idea. I just gave him a cookie.
oh, you blindsided him. That's awful.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah.
awful. That's
Yeah. Everybody hated it. It was awful. So yeah, I don't even like deep fried pickles anymore.
okay. Because I saw apparently people put pickles on pizza, and that like with ranch, like it's like ranch sauce, pickles, and like cheese.
At the Tulip Festival last weekend, they had that. It said it was their special, and Taylor was like, "Did you see that?" And I was like, "Oh, yuck! Like, why would anyone do that?"
That's so.
I don't
gross.
understand
Ah,
that.
that's gross.
Yeah, yeah. I don't understand why anyone would eat that, but maybe people really like warm pickles. I don't get it. I don't even like sweet pickles.
Sweet pickles are really the only ones I can eat. Like I can eat pickles, like regular ones, but it has to be the spicy ones. It can't be like just a pickle by itself.
See, I don't like any of those. I just want like the kosher dill pickles or the what is the Grillos or whatever. Those so freaking good.
Yeah, but it's gonna be spicy. I can't do it without spice. I'm right. You're wrong.
No,
Just,
I
just
like
have
everything that you don't like in terms of pickles.
it. Well, you also like cabbage, so there's that.
Well, because it's delicious. You're just wrong.
So JD Vance killed the Pope.
Yes, that did
All
happen.
jokes, of course. Don't JD Vance, don't come after us, please. I don't want to get deported to El Salvador. Um,
Well, is there something
but
you should be scared of?
I mean, I'm openly accusing him of murder. So
Oh, I figured. Are you not a citizen, or have you done anything in your past that they could just pick you up for? Do you carry your identification on you?
I probably should. My older brother, is a whack. I mean, he's never gonna hear this, but he's weird as hell. He's very anti-government. He's very much into anarchy.
Okay.
On the extreme side, like he's just hates the government, and his wife is Arab, so he's definitely on like all of the watch lists. So I'm sure that I am on the similar
Also on
watch list
list.
because of that.
Aren't you on the TikTok watch list?
I'm definitely on the TikTok watch list too. For I TikTok is killing me though. I'm about to get
Yeah.
banned.
You what?
I'm about to get banned.
Oh, stop saying stuff that isn't remotely terrible. And maybe they'll let you stay. But also, what's with the algorithm? You said you were going to tell me something about the algorithm.
Oh yeah. Okay, so this is like doesn't specifically just apply to TikTok. It's like every single app on your phone in general. So when you
They're
think
listening.
of
Should
so
I
when
show
you
them
yeah
under-
when you think of phones tracking you and like listening to you, a lot of people assume it's like they're using your video, like your camera, they're using your microphone, like listening to you and recording you and like deciphering the recording, right? But I saw TikTok where this guy went into detail on like 4 different ways that your phone tracks you without even recording your voice. So the first one is scroll behavior. So if you're either on TikTok, Facebook, just your browser, whatever, if you stay on a block of text or on an article long enough, the trackers in your phone will get alerted and essentially look at that text like, okay, something in that paragraph of words interested this person. So we're
Oh,
gonna
this is
find
terrible news for me.
so we're gonna find similar things on any social media or the internet to advertise to you or show you. The creepiest one is that they use wireless networks to also track you. So if you're at your friend's house, for example, and you ask them what their Wi-Fi is, your phone will use the mic and it will hear you say, "Hey, what's your Wi-Fi?" And it will know that this person is at least someone that you know or you're friends with. And so from there, they will look into the network at what people are browsing, all that stuff, assume that you have similar interests to those people, to those phones or those computers, and advertise you similar stuff. It gets even crazier. If you're not on a Wi Fi anywhere, they'll identify a cluster of phones or devices in a certain area using cell towers, and then they'll analyze using GPS where you are. So, are you in a house? Are you in a grocery store? Are you at like an event? And then
Okay, hate
they'll tailor your content to who you're with. So, if you're at like a baseball game, they'll tailor your baseball stuff to you moving forward for that one of those two teams. Your linguistic style is also tracked. So
Don't
are you
like that.
typing fast? So are you typing fast? Are you typing slow? Are you making mistakes and retyping? Do you use TikTok slang or Facebook slang? The slang tells them your likely age bracket, and your typing speed and habits tell them if you're impulsive, if you're calm, you're angry, you're feeling vulnerable, and then they'll tailor ads to you based on that. This one applies to you. Sleep habits. So if you are awake late at
This one
night,
applies to all of them.
uh,
Because
if you're
that's what I was thinking of, is when I fall asleep holding on something and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I wake up and I'm like touching my phone. I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know how long I was there. Like sometimes I just fall asleep to a TikTok just on repeat.
I sent you a TikTok the other day in my sleep. I was like scrolling and I did that same thing where I hit share and I sent it to you. And I realized it after the fact and you responded to it. And I was like, what did I send you? I looked back and I was like, okay, this is not bad. This is not a weird video.
Yeah. I don't know what it was, but now I'm curious.
um yeah, sleep habits. Now the wildest thing that happened in 2018, so 7 years ago, is that Facebook developed a way to track people using dust on your camera lens. So, in
I
this
hate that.
specific case, a wedding photographer took pictures of a wedding, sent the photos later on to the bride and the groom, who then either posted them to Facebook or put them out, to their friends through like emails or whatever. Um, those individuals uploaded photos of themselves at the wedding, and Facebook was able to see dust on the photos that was not visible to the naked eye, and based off of that, was able to determine that every single one of those people were at that specific event that night.
What? I hate that.
Yeah, and like they would recommend, oh, this person was also at the wedding. You don't know them, but like maybe you should add them as a friend. Like that's the craziest part. It's all crazy, but
No.
yeah.
Yeah, I hate it. I don't understand. And it makes sense all at once, because how many times have you like slightly interacted with somebody? Oh man, I'm building Legos at the same time. How many times have you slightly interacted with somebody and then all of a sudden they show up on your suggested friends? Like I've briefly met people at bars and they've come up on my suggested friends. People who I work with at my work, I'm like, are you stalking me, or is this how they're finding people? And algorithm sounds like it is algorithming.
It's not even like that you met the person. It's like if you passed by them, like if you just walk past them on your way to the bathroom, and like their phone will see your phone, and vice versa, and be like, oh, this person was near this person. Let's suggest them on Facebook. I got in so many weird suggestions. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Have I seen you somewhere? No idea. Like, why the hell is this Stephanie adding me on Facebook? What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Stephanie doesn't even know who she's adding on Facebook. I feel like also there's a lot of people that I'm like, are you a real person? Or are you a bot? Like with my Facebook friend ads, I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, AI is getting pretty crazy. They've had like, I mean, people. I honestly, I probably have like argued with an AI bot on Facebook at some point because like they're all over the place.
Yeah, I think that's undoubtable. I kind of think it's not worth arguing with strangers on the internet because they probably are all bots.
Yeah, I got banned from my another local group in my Facebook
For
community
real?
because because I somebody posted about the Mormon church opening a a temple in the state nearby or whatever, and I comment about their whole like all their sex scandals, and I got an instant block.
Yeah, worth it.
I was like, got him. I upset
Worth
somebody.
it. My son helped me build part one of this and he messed some things up. And
Oh,
now I
he
don't know how
messed it
to.
up. Are you sure
Well,
that you did?
I gave him the pieces and he was looking at the diagram and I was watching my daughter play with Play-Doh at the same time. I had to watch her like a hawk, you know? And yeah, he shoved some pieces that definitely shouldn't have gone in right there. But we got it.
Um,
We actually don't
so
know
I
which way
saw
this one.
this. I meant to bring it up last week. I saw this really, really insane story on TikTok about an experiment that happened in the early 1900s, and it's
Okay.
called the Little Albert experiment. So, the Little Albert experiment was a famous and highly controversial psychology study from 1920 conducted by John B. Watson and Rosa Lee Rayner at Johns Hopkins University. It was designed to explore whether a fear response could be conditioned in a human being, similar to how Pavlov conditioned dogs to salivate at the sound of a bell, and how Jim conditioned Dwight to salivate at the sound of a
We were talking about that today.
bell.
You know, at work.
I feel like we could get to work. Um, so they chose a 9-month old baby known as Little Albert for the study. And at first, Albert, of course, showed no fear of animals or unusual objects, which included a white rat, a rabbit, a monkey, and even a burning newspaper. However, they began pairing the presence of the white rat with a loud, frightening noise, specifically banging a metal bar behind his head. After
Okay.
repeat After repeated pairings, Albert began to cry and show signs of fear whenever the rat appeared, even without the noise. Over time, Albert's fears generalized to other white, fluffy objects like rabbits, a fur coat, and even a Santa Claus mask. It's this, so that's what happened. The experiment is widely criticized because it's pretty unethical. Um,
Yeah.
they intentionally distressed a little baby, and there's no record that he was ever desensitized or helped to overcome the fear. Additionally, he could not consent, and there is little documentation showing his mother fully understood or even agreed to the procedure. Um, and no one knows to this day who little Albert was. His identity was never revealed, and we have no idea if that kid was fucked for life, probably, or if he ever got
Probably.
over his fears.
Yeah, it probably was fucked for life. This is so fucking stupid. They're just like, let's just do experiments on people. It makes you think, how many experiments are they doing on us right now?
Honestly, probably a lot. This whole government shit's probably an experiment, or like, what can we do that these guys will put up with?
Doesn't sound, yeah, it sounds right. Stupid, but yeah.
I mean, we have the autism registry now, so they're gonna track everyone with autism. So
I know. Like, I don't know. Because we've had all these reasons to trust them. And yeah, I don't know. This is the
yeah,
bad place.
it's the bad place on like overload steroids.
Yes. This is the
And
bad place.
I want off of this ride. I just want to go back to Hillary Clinton being president and then uh whoever else, but I I just I can't take this. It's
Yeah. Can I get a
exhausting.
do over,
I have
please?
okay. I have a new beef, by the way, with Cinderella. So my
Oh,
daughter
can't wait.
has watched it like 10 times this week. It's her new movie. So awesome for me, bully for me. Uh, but so not only did they like obviously stalk Cinderella to figure out where she was and like find her and
Mm-hmm.
force her to marry the prince, they chased her that night after she left. They sent like horses after her to run her down and bring her back to the castle.
She's prisoner now.
Yeah, the prisoner now. Like, what the fuck? That's my new beef. My new beef with Cinderella is that they stalked her.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons to beef with Cinderella. Like, too many to count, honestly.
Also, unrelated to Cinderella, I have two beefs with fucking companies posting jobs. Number one, okay, I obviously have been working in accounting for the last 3 or 4 years, and I feel like I'm not asking for a lot of money. I'm not asking for six figures out of the gate. But I
Yeah.
got a job recommendation from Indeed, and it was a local job in person, 40 hours a week, full time, accounting. They wanted 3 years experience with general ledger, all that shit. Can you
Mm-hmm.
guess how much they wanted to pay?
What was the title again?
I think it was like staff accountant.
Okay. And they want 3 years of experience, and
Mm-hmm.
they're underpaying 60.
Nope.
Oh, damn it. I
They
thought I lost you because you paused for so long.
they I should do that more often. Be like, um, they
God,
wanted
yeah. Every time.
they wanted to pay this person $18 an hour.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I made that much
30.
in AP at entry level.
Yeah, that's
But when my
18.
first accounting job.
See, my first accounting job, I made I think 46,000 a year, but $18 an hour for 3 years. It's 38 whatever $1,000. That is incredibly insulting. Like,
Yes. It was my first accounting job, like getting into the field, and it was AP entry level. All I had was my degree in business management. And honestly, they were like, what do you bring to the table since you don't have any experience? And I remember looking at them and just being like, isn't this entry level? What do you mean? Like, I have a degree. Does that say anything? And like,
you should
highly
have said
doubted me.
sick memes. That's why it came
Sick
to the table.
memes. I mean, she hired me, but damn, I was like, am I not qualified for this? I thought this was entry level. Like, what's going on?
The other day at my second interview with the company, I'm having a third interview with next week. She asked me, it was like after 40 minutes, if I had anything else that I wanted to like just say like as part of my experience, whatever. And I had exhausted all of my knowledge, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I've done a good job of like explaining what I've done before, like what I know. And so I was like, yeah, I bring really good memes and dad jokes to the team. So like that's what you need to hire me for. I have nothing
How
else
is
to
that
say.
taken? I mean, they're
She,
giving you another interview, so it must have worked.
yeah, I'm getting a third interview and a fourth one. So I mean, she laughed and thought it was funny, but there's that. My second
Hey,
beef with these,
you're basically hired.
it, my second beef with these freaking companies is that I applied for a job like 2 weeks ago. Again, it's like an AP, and it was AR, so AR analyst or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think it was like 60,000 a year. It's not, it's about middle of the range for 2 years experience. And they emailed yesterday at 10 p.m. and said, "We'd like to interview you tomorrow, so today, at 11:30 a.m. Please respond by the end of today to confirm."
In the
And
next
I was like,
hour?
"Yeah." And I was like, if you're doing this in the interview process, what kind of boss are you with your employees? Because most people are asleep at 10 p.m. Like, what?
I'm definitely asleep at 10 p.m. They lost me.
I'm like, I have to for like interviews. I have to like arrange childcare. Like, I can't just drop it all within a 12-hour window. I'm like, oh yeah, I can definitely do that because that's how life works.
Yeah. I actually don't like my family, so this is perfect.
This is fucking dope. Fucking
Yeah.
dope.
Like, I don't need to help out at all. I don't have a child that I need to work with. Nope. Nope. I can drop everything. What time? Yeah, for sure. It's going to interfere with my morning nap, but whatever.
um.
How did it
Okay.
go? What did you say to them?
I didn't respond. I was like, fuck. I was like, you're gonna be that fucking like disrespectful for like someone's time, and like, I'm not even
Yeah, and who
responding.
the hell's answering emails at 10 p.m.?
And that wasn't even the worst part. It was a 25-minute interview. They said, and it was a panel interview, a 3-person interview with. This is a like mid-level like junior role, 3-person interview, 25 minutes, and it was like the VP of the company, the CFO, and like the CAO. I'm like, what is going on? Like, why am I interviewing with 3 high executives in your company and you guys can't email me 24 hours notice? Like, what?
Yeah, and you can't pay more?
And you can't and you can't pay more? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, what
I
is this? Am I in the Twilight Zone?
it's just it's and this is like a normal thing I've been seeing. Like people underpay, extremely underpay,
Yeah,
or they
I've
just
seen
like do
that
this shit.
too. It's honestly infuriating. Like, the wages that they think that people are going to take in this economy, jokes. You got jokes.
Yeah. Jokes on jokes on jokes. They can go to hell. So I won't dox you guys, but fuck off. You can go shove it. um yeah, so that's fun. Um but for today's episode, so we had this kind of discussion back in February, I believe, around Valentine's Day. But today is going to be dedicated to the missing or murdered Indigenous women and girls, because May 5th is the National Awareness Day for missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. So this will fall next Friday, so the 2nd, so 3 days before. So we'll just get ahead of it. But um, so as we previously talked about, I looked through all the other cases that we had open and had discussed, and none of them, they're all still open, all unresolved at this point, 3 months later or 2 months later. And there are an absolute fuck ton of cases that are open, either missing or murdered. And so we're touching on like, I think 7 today, but there are so many more that you guys should look into and take a look at and read about, because there's just this huge tragedy and under-documented, under-reported issue in this country and Canada as well, which I had not previously known about until we had, discussed this. But this time, we're going to be showing the person's picture, since I figured out how to screen share. I'm a boomer. So we have their photo on here. We'll talk about the case. As my references, I have scoured the internet to find a lot of, information about these cases. I did use ChatGPT when I was exhausted of other resources, see what it could, draw from anywhere in the entire world. So a lot of these cases are very short from what we have, because there's just not a lot of information. Government, the police, whenever they're not doing their jobs, or it's just the person went missing quickly and didn't have much family, and so not much got reported on it. So that is an issue with that, is there's just not enough reporting information behind it. So it's really hard to solve these cases when there's nothing to kind of reference. But the first case, and I'm going to try my best to pronounce their names. Obviously, I might get them wrong, but and I apologize for that. This person's name is Neva Kingbird. So Neva was just 15 years old when she vanished from Bemidji, Minnesota in October 2021. High school freshman, she had dreams of one day attending college in Colorado, though she hadn't yet decided what to study. She only knew she wanted to explore the world. According to her mother, Teddy Wind, Neva was a homebody who loved spending time in her room and rarely stayed out late. She didn't drink and preferred the company of her family, and though she was deeply connected to home, she had a strong personality and many friends. As Teddy described her, Neva was the, quote, boss of everybody, even me. A loving big sister and aunt, Neva was the third oldest of 6 siblings and had a close bond with her family, especially her siblings and nephew. Neva and her family valued their Indigenous heritage, and Neva took pride in knowing and living her culture. Creative and expressive, Neva enjoyed painting, using pastels, and writing poetry, but beneath her bright personality, she had been enduring a rough year. In 2021, 2 of her close friends died by suicide, one in April and another just a week before she went missing. The losses deeply affected her, and she had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and while she had run away before, she always managed to keep in touch, even during a previous month-long absence. Teddy, her mom, a self-described strict parent, had enrolled her in boxing and self-defense classes to help her feel empowered. On the night of October 21st, 2021, Neva told her mom she was going to see a movie with friends. Those who saw her said she seemed happy, even beyond excited. But instead of going to the movies, her friends took her to a party. That night, she was seen at 2 homes, and by around 2 a.m., she left the second one alone. Witnesses saw her jump out of a window at a Southview Terrace trailer park, hit her head, and lie on the ground briefly before running off. She appeared to be in a vulnerable and possibly disoriented state. The next morning, while her mom was working at a local casino, she managed to reach Neva by phone. Neva answered, but she was slurring her words and began crying. Though she said she was okay, Teddy felt something was wrong. She left work and went to a house where she believed Neva had been, either her own or another's, and found teens inside, one of whom tried to stop her from coming in. Teddy called the police, and officers arrived to help clear the house, but Neva had already slipped out the back door with her cousin. Everyone present that night was later interviewed by authorities. Teddy officially reported Neva missing on October 22nd. At first, she believed her daughter might have gone to stay with her friends, But she became alarmed when Neva didn't contact anyone, not her family, not her friends, not even on social media, where she had always been active. At around 3:30 to 4 a.m. that morning, a neighbor near Washington Avenue Southwest and Pine Grove Street Southwest reported seeing a girl matching Neva's description. A couple living just south of the trailer park recalled that a girl who looked like Neva had knocked on their door about 8 hours later after the window incident, but left before they could answer. Later, they found broken windows in their detached garage, possibly signs that someone had tried to seek shelter in the freezing cold. By the time police came, the garage was empty. Amid the worry, illness swept through her family. One of her siblings tested positive for COVID, and Teddy feared Neva might be sick as well. She'd had a runny nose before missing. Teddy messaged all her daughter's social media accounts, but all of them went unread. Neva had completely stopped responding to her friends' group chats as well. 2 months later, a new lead surfaced. Neva's 12-year-old brother heard that she and another girl had fled the party and entered a nearby trailer through a window. Detective Sergeant Dan Seberg later confirmed this after interviewing others at the scene. Neva and her friend were talking when the stepfather of one of the boys knocked on the door, causing the group to scatter. Neva jumped out a window and disappeared. Her phone was later found between the bed and the wall in that trailer, likely dropping during the escape. Unfortunately, surveillance footage from the trailer park had already been erased by the time this came to light. It wasn't until weeks later, in December, that authorities began treating the case as more than a typical runaway. During search efforts, Neva's family found a sweater buried in the snow in a swampy area, one her grandmother owned and had last seen at Teddy's house. Police searched the area with sonar but found nothing. They also discovered a pair of frozen women's jeans and some makeup nearby, though it's unclear if these were connected to Neva. The search for Neva has involved numerous agencies, including the Bemidji Police Department, the FBI, Minnesota BCA, and more. Efforts have included aerial and ground searches, use of dogs, interviews, and a review of social media. Heavy snowfall early on made searching very difficult, and it was decided that further efforts would resume once the snow melted. The FBI formally joined the investigation on December 16th, and around that time, a rumor circulated on social media claiming Neva had been kidnapped by a man driving a car with Louisiana plates. This was later debunked and linked to an unrelated case in Oklahoma. On January 2nd, 2022, a candlelight vigil was held for Neva at Lake Bemidji near the Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox statues, attended by 50 people. Another search was organized by the community on February 14th, and when spring came, Teddy and investigators urged residents in the Nymore area and south to Hubbard County Road 9 to check their sheds and outbuildings or any place that someone might have sought shelter. Anglers were asked to keep an eye out too, and in May, a large-scale search covering 500 acres was organized involving volunteers, law enforcement, drones, and dogs. And in that October, another vigil was held with candlelight and drum performances. In May 2023, during a walk honoring missing and murdered Indigenous women in Bemidji, Neva's case was highlighted alongside that of Jeremy Jordan, another Indigenous teen who vanished after a party in 2016. Searches then resumed in July 2023 with cadaver dogs, and they are investigating whether or not Neva might have succumbed to hypothermia. And then in September, the largest search for a missing Indigenous person in Minnesota's history was launched, covering 150 acres and involving over 200 people. Her disappearance remains unsolved, but her community continues to search, to hope, and to honor her memory. So if you've seen this person in the photo, if you have seen her, know anything about her at all, contact for our audio listeners. Hop onto YouTube and check out the video. But it's 1-833-560-2065. I'm sure you can leave tips anonymously. So if you know anything about her, please, please, please contact the FBI.
Man, 15 years old. So now she'd be 19 this year.
Yep. Yeah.
Man, I can't imagine like calling her and she answers, but she's like kind of slurring her words, and then she slipped out when the police got there, like got ahead of them somehow. But I guess that's the determination of a kid that's doing something they're not supposed to not get in trouble.
Yep.
It's just unfortunate that whatever happened after that was really confusing. Like the friend that she slipped out with, I wonder how much follow-up there's been with them. Do they know who that is? I don't know.
Yeah. Especially hard. Like she, lost her phone, so it's like she had no way of contacting anybody if it's lost in the house. Like,
And it sounds
that's
like
just
I don't know. The weather there is more on the chilling side too.
mm-hmm.
I mean, this is October too.
October, quickly into like Thanksgiving, and that's Minnesota. I'm sure it's like fucking hella cold by
Right?
November. That's just, and it's crazy. Like her case, that was a ton of information, way more than I think I've ever seen on any of these cases that I've looked in, like 12 or 15. That's the most information I've gotten out of one case, and it's still unsolved. Like there's so many points of like contact between the police and her, or like family and her, and just up and miss, like just gone. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been listening to Up and Vanish, and it reminds me of the same kind of like parallels from between the story that I'm listening to there, especially another kid going missing around like the same time frame. Like, I don't know. It's just, yeah, thinking about the different ways that they're like trying to figure out what happened with those stories. I'm like, feel like my brain's going to all the possibilities. Like, what could have happened? Who could they have contacted? Like, obviously, it's been enough time. She's not just hiding away. Like, something happened.
Yeah,
What
like
was it?
did she succumb to the cold, and or is she trying to get back home and then someone grabbed her? Like,
Yeah,
did
it
she get
feels like
hurt?
something had to have happened. Like, I feel like if she succumbed to the cold, they would at least find her.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, again, I don't know the terrain, if like they're I don't
That's
know if
true.
wolves are, or if they're like wolves are indigenous to Minnesota, but like I guess any wildlife could. But then again, bears hibernate in the winter, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, even that, with the stories that I've been listening to, it's like, well, bears don't eat other things. Like that, if they have like backpacks on them or clothes, like bears, there's going to be something left behind. So I don't know. It's hard for me to just say that there. I felt like there'd be evidence of that if there was some sort of like animal mischief. But
Yeah,
also, she's 15, so maybe that isn't the case.
best case scenario, is that she's still out there somewhere, and she did run away. But I'm hoping that's the case, and that she's still alive. But till we find out, we just don't know what happened.
Yeah. I thought for sure when they're like, she broke into this trailer, it was like she broke into the wrong trailer. It was like somebody that she shouldn't have come in contact with. And then they were like, seize the opportunity. But I'm sure if they're looking into the case whatsoever, which it sounds like they are, because this is a lot of evidence, like they probably have looked at that route.
Yeah.
Just would be nice if it was solved. Every case lately.
I know. It's like unsolved, and at least this one they're still looking into. Like you said, some of these cases, it's like one of these, the police just closed it. Like we have no information on them, so we're just going to close it. It's like an administrative closure, where it's like we know they're missing, and it's not of their own accord, but we don't know anything. I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Not good enough.
Pathetic. Especially when you see, again, this fucking billionaires who get shot in broad daylight in New York City, and they like are launching these like task forces to find this one killer, and they can't dedicate any amount of money towards these cases like that.
Yeah, like, or I don't know. It feels like there's so many things going into play with like these laws and that laws, and it's like, okay, but you can't do anything about gun control.
Yeah,
you can do an autism registry, but like I just don't understand.
Unrelated, it's crazy to me that GOP and the conservatives are okay with like an autism registry, but a gun registry is out of the question. That's like, I don't get that at all. Like, the government tracking people, that's okay.
It's
government tracking guns, not okay.
Yeah, I don't get it. It makes my brain hurt, but I'm not supposed to get it, I think.
No.
It's stupid though.
It's stupid. It's not for us. We
just live here. Just live in the bad place.
Okay. So this next one is for Kristen Sue Richardson. She was known to friends and family as Crash due to her passion for drumming, and was last seen on May 25th, 2018 at her home in the 1300 block of Houston Street in Muskogee, Oklahoma. At 51, she had been preparing to attend Rocklahoma, a music festival in Pryor, Oklahoma, to see her favorite band perform. However, cell phone records indicated she never left Muskogee, casting doubt on the claims made by her roommates that she had gone to the festival and left with an unidentified woman. In the weeks following her disappearance, her roommates, Carl Bryce and Cody Ray Campbell, were found to have used her Oklahoma access card and sold or given away some of her belongings. A tip from Campbell later implicated Bryce in her death, stating that Bryce had stabbed and killed Richardson. Authorities noted a disturbed area of soil and the odor of decomposition in the backyard of their shared residence, which prompted investigation of the property in July of 2018. Despite these findings, they did not locate any remains, and no charges were filed against Bryce or Campbell in connection with her presumed murder. On the same day as the search, first-degree murder charges were filed against an unknown suspect, referred to as John Doe, in Richardson's case. However, the identity of the suspect has not been publicly released, and no further arrests have been made. Campbell was later sentenced to 5 years in prison on a stolen vehicle charge unrelated to her disappearance, while Bryce is facing pending charges in connection with a stolen truck found at their residence. Richardson's family and friends are obviously continuing to seek answers, and they have maintained a Facebook page called Bring Home Crash to raise awareness and encourage anyone with information to come forward. Despite the passage of time, the Muskogee Police Department, along with the FBI and Bureau of Indian Affairs, continued to investigate the case, treating it as an active homicide investigation. Anyone who knows anything about Kristen's disappearance or murder is urged to call the Muskogee Police Department at 918-683-8000, or if you want to contact the FBI, it is 1-833-560-2065. And again, for our visual listeners, her picture is here. And for audio listeners, go to the Facebook page, Bring Home Crash, to see her picture and see her story. And if you know anything, please, 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 please contact those numbers.
I love that we get to know them too. Like, I don't know, like that she's passionate about drumming and that they call her Crash. Like, I don't know. I don't, it just made me feel like, okay, like this is a person that you don't even really have to know before you feel this kind of connection with them.
Yep.
I don't know what happened to her. It feels like the roommates, something there.
Yeah, I
They feel
agree
sketchy as
that.
hell.
Oh yeah, 100%. I do agree that it's nice that you kind of get the backstory, because a lot of times it's like, oh, this person's missing, and then you don't know anything about them. It's, I guess, as shitty as it is, people have a easier time not paying attention if it's like a face and no story. And it's like, okay, here's the story. They were a person. Like, please listen. But yeah, there's the roommates. Like, first of all, like, you were selling her stuff.
Yeah.
What? Who does that? If you know your roommate's coming back from a concert or whatever, you don't just go and sell their belongings, and you don't use their access card. I'm not sure what the Oklahoma access card is. I'm sure it's like some kind of like benefit program or like credit card ish thing. But like, you
So it
don't
seems
just do
like.
that. Yeah, you don't just do that if you think they're coming back. Like, they know what happened, and they did something to her, especially with the whole disturbed soil and odor of decomp in the backyard.
Yeah,
Like, there's something going on.
something. I don't know what, but something. You did something. It's just weird to me that they didn't find anything too.
I'm guessing
Why?
that they, after the one guy folded on the other guy, he probably moved the body quickly, and God knows where it is now.
Yeah, makes sense,
Cowards.
but yeah, exactly. Cowards.
Fucking scum. Cowards. So, another just tragedy. Again, if you know anything about them, please just reach out. Be anonymous, but like, her family is waiting.
Seriously. And now us too.
And now us too. We are learning about these people, and we're caring about them, and we are committed.
Hoping to find
This
a
next one
resolution.
is for Freda Jane Knows His Gun. She was a 34-year-old mother of three from Crow Agency, Montana, who was last heard from on October 18th, 2016, while at a Walmart in Kennewick, Washington. At that time, she had called a friend in Billings, Montana, and requested an online money transfer to help her return home so she could take her children trick-or-treating for Halloween. The friend agreed, but due to a misspelling of Freda's last name, the transfer was delayed, and by the time the correction was made, the Walmart store had closed, and Freda was unable to claim the money. Her friend did attempt to contact her again, but her phone was no longer in service, and she never ended up picking up the money. And that was the last known contact with her. Her family filed a missing persons report about a month later, November 14th, 2016, after she missed her aunt's funeral. Prior to her disappearance, Freda had been spending a lot of time in Billings and had become involved with a new group of friends, which concerned her family. They reported she had been distancing herself and struggling with substance abuse. And while it was not uncommon for her to be out of contact for a few days, her prolonged absence was unusual and alarming. The investigation into her disappearance had been complicated by jurisdictional issues among state, tribal, and federal law agencies, and reports of her case have been handled under various last names, including Nose Gun and Nose His Gun with spaces all between them, leading to inconsistencies in the handling of the case. Her case does remain open, and she is listed in the National Crime Information Center database, which allows law enforcement across the entire country to be aware of her status. She is described as having brown eyes and waist-length brown hair, often worn in a ponytail or bun. She has distinctive tattoos, including the names Lyrical, Trinity, and Mason on her back between her shoulder blades. A Mickey Mouse with a basketball on her right calf, a flower and initials on her right shoulder, and two masks with a banner reading "Knows His Gun" on her upper right arm. So if you have seen her at all, know anything about her, please contact the Crow Agency Police Department at 406 638 3700. The FBI at 406 248 8484 or 1-833 560 2065. Or you can submit tips online at tips.fbi.gov. And that is, I'm sure, the case with all of these cases. You can go to tips.fbi.gov and submit them there. So if you've seen her, know anything about her, please contact any of these authorities and get her brought home or help the family get the closure that they deserve to have.
And do we know why she was in Washington?
It is not, when I found online, it is not known.
Okay. I only asked because it reminded me of one of the Up and Vanished that I've been listening to that was out of Montana. So then I had to check and see how far away Billings is from, where is it? Browning. They're 5.5 hours away. So no relation. But in that story, they had people went from between Montana to Washington for like this huge drum circle, I believe they said. It was like a big celebration. And so I was just curious if maybe that's what brought her, because that sounded like something that people would make their way there and not really know how they were getting back home, but like trying to travel together because it was like a giant celebration. I was curious if that was around, like, if that's what brought her there and that's why she's trying to return back home. But one thing that was really frustrating about the story from Up and Vanish is that they there was a lot of like heavy drug use, and so it was just hard to follow, like, whose story do you trust. So it was a lot of like he said, she said kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's just, I do wonder if that's why she was up there. If it's like a similar thing. I mean, it does say that she had made friends with questionable people. So maybe she went on a trip out there with them for whatever reason.
Yeah, it also was said that like one of the guys from the story that I was listening to, he was like a drug dealer that would go out to Washington to go get the drugs. So maybe that's something, maybe it's more like wholesome than that and just like got caught up because we know how sketchy Washington is.
Yeah, you and your hatred of Washington.
I can't help it. It's sketchy up there. It's scary.
I haven't even been to Washington, but now that you have trashed them, I'm kind of hesitant to go.
I wouldn't. Your name's on a list somewhere for sure.
Oh yeah. uh this next one, you get her picture brought up. I love that I figure out how to share stuff on here now because like it's so much cooler to be able to like show the audience things, like not just either of us Googling what this person looks like. Oh,
Yeah,
this
that's
person.
true. It is nice to share.
The crappy part with this person's case, Diane Medicine Horse. The pictures. It was this one we have on the screen is pretty blurry, and any other photo I could find online was a similar one, but like a little bit more brightened up. But you can still barely see your face. So we're defaulting to this photo, but there's really no photo I could find that was as clear as day. A photo of her online you could show, but this is her case. Diane Lynn Medicine Horse, affectionately known as Tiny, was a 26-year-old Native woman from the Crow tribe in Montana. So another Montana case here. On September 28th, 1981, she was last seen in Crow Agency after dropping her father off at her uncle's house and driving away in her white car. Her disappearance went unreported for nearly a month as she had a history of alcohol abuse and had previously been out of contact for extended periods of time. However, her sisters reported her missing after she failed to attend their mother's funeral on October 23rd, 1981. Investigations into her disappearance have yielded few leads. Authorities did follow up on a tip that she might have been in Fort Berthold, North Dakota, and another suggesting she could be buried in a crawl space in Lodge Grass, Montana. However, neither tip led to any conclusive evidence, and the FBI continues to consider her case open, though her children have been denied access to her case file for closure. Diane's daughter, Natasha Rondeau, has been deeply affected by her mother's disappearance. Growing up, she held on to hope that her mother might still be alive, possibly watching over her from a distance. However, after becoming a mother herself, she realized that a mother would not miss out on her children's lives, leading her to confront the painful reality of her mother's absence. Her case remains part of the broader crisis where Native Americans make up 6.7% of the population, but account for 26% of missing persons cases in Montana. If you have any information, please contact the Bureau of Indian Affairs or FBI at 1-833-560-2065 or by email at ojs_mmu@bia.gov. So I know a lot of our listeners probably weren't alive when this happened, but if you do know of her, where she is or anything about her disappearance, please do contact that number or the email or again the FBI's tip line. They'll take those tips and hopefully look into it. But please do reach out and help her family get closure after 44 years now almost.
Yeah, what was the year?
1981.
Damn. Yeah, before I was born.
Yeah, 44 years ago. this October.
That's wild. It's just crazy how many people are missing out in that like vast wilderness.
Yeah. I mean, the second crow agency that we've had.
Yeah,
Just
it makes me think like how scary it is to just be in nature. And that's so sad. That is so sad that it's that scary. But that's probably also why I don't like Washington.
that's well, there's a lot of
Nature.
there's a lot of nature in Washington, but
Yeah, and just like being native and connected to your roots, like that's nature, and it's really sad that that has to be scary. But this world it's the bad place.
yep, it's a bad place, and we're stuck here.
I can't believe her kids can't get access to it. Like that's some bullshit.
It sounds about right. The FBI or the government's fucked, but like, oh yeah, we're gonna not really do anything with this, but also you can't have access to it because
Yeah, just tell us you have nothing.
right,
Like if that's the best photo that they have, like tell us you have nothing.
just complete garbage.
Yeah.
Next one is another teenager. This is the one that was closed, a closed case slash administrative, which it's typically used for cases that are closed without resolution or that are pending further investigation. So her name is Tiana Whitehawk, and she was a 15-year-old native girl from the Fort Peck Indian Reservation in Montana. And she was last seen on December 26, 2021 in Anderson, California. At the time of her disappearance, she was 5'5", weighed approximately 110 pounds, had black hair and brown eyes. Her case is being investigated by the Fort Peck Tribe Police Department and the Bureau of Indian Affairs Office of Justice Services Missing and Murdered Unit. And as of now, there have been no significant updates or new developments in the case, which has, like we said earlier, the status of closed/administrative. However, no specific details have been provided regarding the current status or any new information. And this is one that, like, I could not find any solid information besides what I have here. It's
What her name is?
what her name is and where she went missing.
The town, not even like the story.
Not even the story.
And
yeah.
they just closed it. And it's not even from that long ago.
Yep.
So it feels like they didn't even try. That's kind of infuriating.
Yeah, I feel like that's the story of a lot of these cases.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier.
Like, she didn't have a cell phone. She didn't have friends or family.
Right, but she had to have. And it's like it's shitty because like if you like if you just Google her name, it's like literally every article. It's like police are looking for help finding her, and police say that she's a runaway, and that's it. Like, no, this is why she was out here. This is her for like who she was. Like, it's literally just name missing, done.
Yeah, I hate that.
Pathetic.
I hate that. Like, she's a person, but doesn't feel like she's being treated like one.
So if you have seen her, and this is newer, so from 4 years ago, or 3.5 years ago, if you've seen her since this she went missing after Christmas 2021, or you saw her on that time period, please call 1-833-560-2065. Also, utilize the FBI tips, because if we keep funneling information to the FBI and making them look into these cases, maybe they'll actually do something with, if we're all just bothering them all the time. So please submit information if you know anything. Let's get her home, hopefully.
Yeah, anything.
Anything. We have 2 more cases. This next one is Judith Fern Garcia. And also, if you are the family, if you somehow hear this podcast, if you're the family of any of these people, or if you are the family of any, or you know of any missing Indigenous person and you want to come talk on the podcast, tell their story, please reach out to us, because we would love to have you on the show. Give you,
Absolutely.
our audience is very small, but we'll give you a platform to tell their story. Okay. Judith Fern Garcia. So Judith was a 21-year-old Native woman from the Pueblo of Laguna, New Mexico, who disappeared on December 24th, 1989. She was born on January 8th, 1968, and when she disappeared, she was described as being 5'2", weighing 138 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. She had a medium build and wore her hair shoulder length. And on the night she was missing, she was last seen leaving her family's home in Laguna, and was wearing a Levi's jacket with faded trim on the front pockets, a black short sleeve shirt, tan pants, and black heeled boots. Her disappearance occurred in the early morning hours, and she never returned home or contacted family afterwards. The case has been open and unsolved for decades, with very, very, very few leads. There is no confirmed evidence of foul play, but given the time that has passed without contact or clues, it's been considered as suspicious. The Buru, I can't ever say that word. The Buru of Indian Affairs.
Bureau?
Like, there you go. I'm gonna let you say it. I don't know why I can't say that word.
The Bureau. I got
Bureau. There we go.
Yeah, you got it. Nailed it.
Has listed her case as open and continues to investigate, as well as the Laguna Tribal Police Department. In online communities and investigative blogs, some have speculated about potential connections between Judith and unidentified remains found elsewhere in New Mexico. But as of right now, no official match has been made. That is it with her case. Again, 80s, and she was born in 68, so she'd be 57 right now. So again, a lot of our listeners weren't alive, but if you were alive and you know anything, if you just come across this podcast randomly and you know her face, please contact the 1-833-560 1-833-560-2065. Or the FBI can, funnel that information to them too. Again, the more times we reach out to them and force them to look at these cases, the more likely they will. So contact authorities of some kind, because we would obviously love to see her get returned home and her family some closure.
Seriously, she went missing the year I was born.
Again, around Christmas.
35 years.
It's the second case where the person was missing right after or before Christmas.
It is amazing to me it's still open. I'm glad it is. I think that last one being closed just because they don't have any information kind of pisses me off. Like, no, you actually don't get to just decide to opt out because you don't have enough.
Right? It's just like oh, she's 15 when she's missing. She ran away. That's like the most pathetic excuse. Like, oh, she just ran away. Okay, well then why don't you share the evidence that you have that she ran away? But also, she's still missing, and she was 15. Like, she was still missing, even if she ran away. You start to look into it because she's 15.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, seriously. All of these are so frustrating. And then I just think back to when my therapist was like, as an Indigenous woman, you are worth less than cattle in this country. Like, it is on official government documents. It was like, okay. And she's like, so it makes sense why you're as angry as you are. I'm like, okay, stay
Yeah.
angry. And it's infuriating.
Yeah, because you have like obviously women have it hard, and your life sucks in this country, and you're fucking screwed over. But as an Indigenous woman, it's like you're quadruple.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. It makes the paranoia that I feel on my insides like feel kind of justified.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
it makes sense. Yeah. Why am I so scared? Oh, I'm scared because the world is scary. Am I overreacting? Probably not. Probably not reacting enough.
Right. Yeah, it's like we think we're conspiracy theorists sometimes, especially you. I'm sure you're like it's nothing. It's not like no. It definitely is something. Like your feelings are
Yeah.
valid. Like
Don't gaslight yourself. Like, yeah, this world is scary.
yeah,
It makes
don't
sense.
gaslight yourself because enough people will gaslight you already.
For real. For
Okay.
real. Everybody out here is trying to change our reality.
Right. I'm still working on that
Everybody.
reality machine because I would love to go to a different reality.
Yeah, I'm still trying to jump timelines.
Still trying to find the door to the next timeline. So the last case today is Ella Mae Begay. Her picture is here, obviously. Ella Mae Begay is a 62-year-old Navajo woman who was last seen on June 15th, 2021, at her home in Sweetwater, Arizona, a remote community on the Navajo Nation. She was born September 28th, 1958, and stood approximately 5 foot tall, weighed around 120 pounds, and had brown hair and brown eyes. Known for her craftsmanship as a master weaver, Ella was a cautious individual who typically avoided driving at night. Her family became immediately concerned when her 2005 Ford F-150 pickup truck bearing Arizona license plate AFE 7101 was seen leaving her residence early that morning. The vehicle was believed to have driven toward Thoreau, New Mexico, and possibly continued toward Albuquerque. Since that morning, Ella has not been heard from, and her whereabouts remain unknown. The investigation is being led by the Navajo Nation Police Department in collaboration with the FBI. Authorities suspect foul play, and the FBI has offered a reward of up to $5,000 for information that leads to the identification, arrest, and conviction of the person or people responsible for her disappearance. Preston Henry Tolth, a 23-year-old man from New Mexico, was identified as a person of interest in the case, and in April 2023, a federal grand jury indicted him on charges of assault resulting in serious bodily injury and carjacking resulting in serious bodily injury, both linked to Ella's case. The indictment claims Tolth assaulted her, took her truck, and transported it across state lines with the intent to cause death or serious injury. Ella's case has become emblematic of the broader crisis and has drawn national attention, highlighting the need for systematic change and accountability. If you know any information, there's a few numbers you can call here. The FBI's Phoenix field office at 623-466-1999. Their Albuquerque office at 505-889-3000. The Navajo Nation Police Department at 505-368-3500. The Bureau at 1-833-560-2065. Or you can text BIAMMU and your tip to 847-411. Or finally, you can email OJS_MMU at BIA.gov.
I lived in Phoenix at the time, and in Phoenix, because quite often older people will go missing there, and they have like these signs, like the electronic signs over the freeway, and they sometimes said really funny things, and then sometimes they had like codes out for like missing older people and what vehicle they could be driving. And all I can think about is like, I probably was living there when they were searching for the Ford F-150. I looked up where like Sweetwater is to see, okay, how close is it to Phoenix? And it looks like it's like is it Gila Reservation is down there. They have a casino down there, and my kid's dad's sister got married down there. Definitely in the area. I don't know, just hit so close to home. And yeah, did he get found guilty?
I meant to look this up yesterday, but
Yeah, it's hard because I also know like the Navajo Nation doesn't have like the resources that a lot of tribes have. But it feels like the Phoenix Police Department should have enough.
it's shitty that it's so hard to find. Like, it shouldn't be this hard to find if he's guilty or not. Like, the last article I see is from May, from the Arizona Daily Sun. He was granted 5 different motions to continue the trial. So pushing it back further and further. And that was of May of last year. So it's almost been a year. So he has to have been. What the fuck? Another infuriating part. It's like, okay, well, they found someone. So, like, why can't we find out what
What
happened?
actually happened?
All right. Well, yeah, there's literally only one article. Are you freaking kidding me? Okay. Well, I will figure it out. I can find out between now and next week and update everybody because now I'm kind of annoyed.
They don't keep you updated.
It's so pathetic. Like they're allowed to just keep pushing back trials like this. Like I know there's a judicial system, but also like you should have to, unless there's a like significant reason for it, you should have to have the trial within a certain period, like a speedy trial. You're guaranteed the right to a speedy trial, unless there's like ridiculous evidence that you need to wait on. Like I don't get it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the times it feels like our legal system is set up to protect the people who are breaking the laws and not the people who are a victim to them. And it's really unfortunate.
I remember when my so obviously I'm not Indigenous, but my aunt was in 1997, I think she was murdered by her boyfriend, and it was a pretty like graphic and brutal murder. But he was given, I think, 3 years in jail. That's it. Like
yeah. Yeah, I have a friend, and one of her brothers killed her other brother and passed it off as a suicide for a month before forensics came back and he was guilty, and he got 6 years. And it's like really no rhyme or reason. Like why did he do what he did? Don't know. Why did he act like it was something that was self-inflicted? Don't know. Could have been alcohol involved? Not sure. I think he just chose not to talk. But I also knew somebody who went to prison for heroin at the time, and they went for 6 years. So I don't know if everything's just 6 years.
bullshit.
Yeah, it doesn't feel comparable to me. I don't know what the right answer is, but it just doesn't feel like that's it.
Yeah, if you like, you can be pro or against death penalty. I feel like I don't know where I stand on that because I just don't know if like I don't know. It's hard, but if you take someone's life, you should serve the rest of your life behind bars. Like you should not get to see a shred of daylight, a shred of freedom. I don't care how overpopulated the prisons are. I don't care how good you've been in prison. Like you took a life, you lost your life. Like you, that's even. I mean, it's not even, but
Yeah,
it's like
it feels like, yeah, if you do something like that and it's like, yes, you know for sure this person is guilty of this, it should be something. But it also just feels like laws are bent and broken, and it's really beneficial to some people and detrimental to others depending on your demographic, depending on your beliefs. Like it's it's not the way it should be.
yeah,
So yeah, truly, like, yeah, it doesn't feel like anybody's really safe there. You don't want to be caught up in it.
no. Um, yeah. So if you guys if you have any information on any of these cases, please contact the appropriate numbers. Um, reach out, get these people home, get their families closure. If you know, if your family member, friend, whatever, anyone you know is gone missing, disappeared, whatever it may be, and you want to come on the podcast and talk about it, reach out to us. Either email between state lines podcast at gmail.com, hit up my TikTok, the podcast TikTok, between state lines, or I'm sure staff would also accept DMs from people with these cases. But if you want to tell their story, if you want us to look into it, definitely let us know. We would love to give some visibility to these cases that are getting looked over.
Absolutely. I do know somebody that went missing in like 2016, 2017 from the place that I graduated high school.
Really?
Yeah. I can't think of what his last name is right now because I haven't looked him up in a while, but his name's Danny. Let's see. I think it's Danny Oberg. Yeah, I'm in find Danny Oberg. He did get on a couple of like small podcasts, but really like he went missing one day. His car and 2 dogs were found, and he never was.
Jesus.
Date of last contact was April 23rd, 2017.
I'm looking at it right now. Look at the vanished today.
Yeah,
No,
he was
they
last
don't
seen
have.
inside Safeway grocery store in Sweet Home, Oregon. He was inside the store with another man while a third waited outside in his car with his 2 dogs. After that, his dogs and car all disappeared. They did eventually find the car and the 2 dogs and were able to like get them caught and taken to his dad. But yeah, some people were like he was gonna go camping. Yeah, he just went missing and no one will talk.
This might be an outdated website, but this website called Solve the Case. They went missing, like you
Yeah.
said, in 2017, and his car was found in 2024. Is that right, or did they find his car in
No, they found his
2017?
car
Okay.
pretty right away, I feel like, because the dogs were with it.
Okay.
And then like it took a while to catch the dogs, but they were able to catch them. I think one of them ended up having puppies. Yeah, but like his poor dad, I don't feel like he just got so many messages from people like either getting his hopes up or saying to talk to this person, talk to that person, and it's just like going nowhere. And yeah, he was having a really hard time.
It's gonna be so hard to like lose your kid like that.
Yeah, just not know what happened.
So this is for our visual listeners. This is Danny's picture, and a little bit about his case. So you get a visual for him.
Yeah, his dad just posted the other day. 8 years ago today is the last day I saw my son and talked to him, so it's been a rough day. Yeah, and then apparently the city sent him a bill.
Fuck that.
But like they really haven't done anything for a long time about this. Like it was like back and forth, talk to these people, talk to those people, they know what happened. Apparently a lot of people have gone missing from that area, like, which is crazy to me because when I lived there I didn't feel as scared as I do these days. But thinking about like how many people have gone missing out there over my lifetime, like the Highway 20 killer was just past there. So I don't know. That's an area that there's a lot of remote spaces. There are places that you can go and just not see anybody. And there's places that people go out and like they will set up camp and live there for like 2 weeks out of the summer. I think you can go up camping up to like 10 days. So I don't know. You find some strange people out in the woods out there. Not that I think that Danny was a strange person, but maybe he came across other people that were strange.
Yeah, always possible. Jesus. I feel so bad for his family. It's awful.
I know. His poor dad, I feel like that's like his only family. At least that I know of. I didn't know him or anything, but he was around my age and like I graduated from school out there.
What did they get a bill from the city or the government for? Like what did they try to bill him?
I don't know. Somebody said like you need to get an attorney. I'm not sure what happened there. But it felt like he's always fighting with like somebody. Like he's just been fighting to find his son for so long.
Should he like you had to put all this effort into getting a case looked at because the government's too fucking lazy, or in some cases, they're just overwhelmed, but like more often than not, it's like they're just not dedicating resources to these cases at all. It's disheartening and depressing.
Yeah, there were so many people that were like, we saw him at a homeless camp in Eugene. Just like all of these false sightings, like just trying to lure them to other places.
You should get 100% arrested for fucking false tips. I'm sure there's a fucking fine you gotta pay, but you should serve time for that shit.
Yeah, I don't think that anything happened to them, and that's ridiculous.
Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in and listening to us and hearing all these stories. And if you know anything, definitely please do reach out. Oh, you finished? You finish?
Yeah. On a lighter note, this is my flowers.
That's your flower. Despite your son messing something up. Probably you did that then.
No, actually, he didn't mess anything up. When I took it apart, I just couldn't see, and I put it in wrong. So yeah, it wasn't him. I did need to correct that. That was 1,000% me. I just can't see because it's very dark in here. I started using my cell phone light at certain parts to like, okay, what part? My old eyes can't see the paper.
My old eyes, my granny eyes.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. I can't see, but I did it.
Thanks, everybody, and yeah, we will talk to you next week.
Bye.